You solemnly swear that the testimony that you will give this jury will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please feel free to have a seat. Mr. Montgomery, as we are being recorded here for the record, could you please go ahead, and I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and state your name, both your first and your last name.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. If you would please go ahead and state your full name and spell out both your first and your last name for the record.
Kevin Lester Montgomery, KEVIN Montgomery.
And Mr. Montgomery, what town are you living in now?
Malden, Mass.
Okay. How long have you lived down there?
I've been back in the area since June
June of this year?
last year.
June of last year,
23.
of course. And are you currently working?
I am.
What do you do for work?
I am a plumber.
How far did you go in school?
10th grade.
How long have you been a plumber?
Roughly 3.5 years-ish.
What are some of the other kind of jobs that you had before being a plumber?
Landscaping. I was in the drywall, union, roofing,
Okay.
stuff like that.
I'd like to ask, in 2019, where were you living? At the first part of 2019?
2019, first part of 2019, I was living in Manchester,
And what was the street address that you were living at?
77 Guilford Street.
Who owned that home?
Excuse me?
Who owned that home? Sorry.
My mom and my ex.
And who else lived there? Let me ask, let's say in February or March of 2019, who else lived there?
So it was me, my nephew, his wife, and their kids.
And who's your nephew, sir?
Adam Montgomery,
And who was his wife at the time?
Kayla Montgomery.
I'm going to go ahead and show you State's Exhibits 1 and 2, and just see if, let's just talk about State's Exhibit 1 for a moment. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 1?
I do.
Okay. And what is that a photograph of?
The front of the house,
Which house?
77 Guilford Street.
Okay. And what about, and with regards to that photo, did the house look that way when you were living there in 2019? And by that, I just mean where the windows are, the door is, the color.
Yes.
Okay. And now I would like to show you State's Exhibit 2 for identification purposes only. Do you recognize what that is a photo of?
I do.
What's that a photo of?
That was Harmony's room.
Where was her room, inside this house or somewhere else? Did she live with you?
Yeah, her room was across from my room inside that house.
Other than the stickers that are at the bottom here, and the photograph itself of the room and the home, are these accurate to your memory of what that room used to look like and what this home used to look like generally when you were there?
Yes.
At this point, Your Honor, I'd ask for the identifications to be stricken from State's Exhibit 1 and 2, please.
Without objection.
I'm sorry, no,
Without.
without objection. Okay, the ID is stricken, they're entered as full exhibits.
To State's Exhibit 1. This is 77 Guilford Street? Is that correct?
Yes.
And let me ask you, how many bedrooms were in the home? How big a house are we talking about?
Living room on the first floor, 2 bedrooms in the back, and then like an attic that was like made over upstairs.
When you say made over upstairs, was that also used as a bedroom?
Correct.
Now showing State's Exhibit 2, I believe you said before, I want to make sure I got your testimony right, that this was Harmony's room. Is that right?
Yes.
The stickers on the wall, do you know what that's a sticker of?
Yes, that was Minnie Mouse.
Mr. Montgomery, excuse me. In 2019, you said, I believe before, that you said that your nephew, Adam Montgomery, was living with you. Is that correct?
Could you speak up, please?
Yes, certainly. And let me move closer to the microphone. In 2019, I believe you testified a moment ago that you said Adam Montgomery was living with you, and he's your nephew? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so nephew, in terms of, so who's his father? And I would assume his father or mother is a brother or sister to you.
So his dad's my older brother, Michael,
And with regards to Adam, how long have you known Adam?
his whole life.
Were you subpoenaed to be here today to testify?
I was.
And let me ask you, do you want to be here today testifying about your nephew?
No.
When Adam came to live with you at Guilford Street, I believe you said before that he had kids with him and that he had his wife. Could you tell us what her name is?
Adam's wife,
Yes.
Kayla
Okay.
Montgomery.
And the kids that moved in with him there in 2019, who were they? Do you remember their names, I should say?
I do. Could you say that question again, please?
Certainly. So when Adam and Kayla came to live with you, you said that there were kids in the home before. What were their names?
So when Adam and Kayla came in, who came with them?
Yes, exactly.
At first it was just Seamus.
Okay. And who is Seamus?
Seamus is their son.
Okay. Who came to live with you next after that? Which child came next?
I believe 2019. So I believe a baby was born somewhere, and then Harmony.
And then Harmony. So Harmony was the last child to move in?
I believe so.
Okay. We looked at a picture of Harmony's room. Where was that room in the house? Was it upstairs? Was it downstairs?
So it was downstairs at the end of the hallway on the right,
Okay. And where was your room in the home?
right across the hall.
Where did you see Harmony spend most of her time when she was in the house?
Permission to approach, Judge?
So, Mr. Montgomery, let me just restate that question for you. So the question that I had for you is that when you saw Harmony, primarily what parts of the house did you see her in? Where did she spend most of her time that you saw?
Just everywhere.
Just everywhere?
Kitchen,
Okay.
living room, just everywhere.
In July of 2019, did you stay in New Hampshire or did you go to any other state?
I lived in New Hampshire,
Mhm.
and then I went for roughly 3 weeks to Florida.
Okay. And let me ask you about that trip to Florida. Did any other family members go with you on that trip?
My son,
Your son? Okay. And when you were in Florida, did you visit any family members?
I did all my family.
Okay. Let me ask you, sir. When you were down in Florida visiting family, tell us some of the different family members that lived down there that you saw.
So the trip was primarily to go see my mom, because my mom had some health issues. But I have several brothers, I saw them, nephews, sister, the whole family.
And I know testifying can be very difficult, so if you need a break or anything, you just let us know and let the court know, okay?
Okay.
All right. You said that you were seeing your mother and she had some health issues. What health issues did she have?
So I believe that April she had triple bypass heart surgery.
Okay.
And that's what the trip was based around, was going to see her.
And did you spend a lot of time with her during that July trip?
I did.
When you came back, do you remember what day you flew back into town?
Roughly the 22nd or the 23rd of July.
Okay. And I apologize, I made an assumption there, and I shouldn't do that. How did you come back to New Hampshire? Did you fly? Did you drive? Did you take a train?
We flew, James and myself.
And when you flew back, and who's James?
James is my son.
Okay. So when you flew back into town, did you fly into Manchester or into Boston or somewhere else?
Boston Logan.
Okay. Did you come back to Manchester that same day after you got off the flight?
I did.
Okay. And did you go to visit 77 Guilford Street? Did you go home?
I did.
Let me ask you, when you got home, did you see Harmony there?
I did.
Where did you see her?
I see her standing in the kitchen.
And when you saw her in the kitchen, how did she look to you?
She had a black eye.
Can you describe it for us? How did the black eye look?
Full, like a raccoon's eye, black and blue.
Black and blue?
Yes,
And when you say full, what do you mean by full? Can you give us a good
all the
example?
way around.
All the way around. And I see just there you were pointing to your right eye. Did you see it on her right eye?
I honestly can't recall, but I think the left.
Okay, you think the left. Okay. I appreciate that for your honesty there. You said you saw her in the kitchen with this black eye?
Yes,
Okay. So when you saw her in the kitchen with this black eye, what, if anything, did you say?
something along the words of, "Oh my fucking God, what did you do, Harmony?"
And who answered that question?
My nephew Adam,
Where was he?
standing right behind her.
And what did Adam say?
She didn't do anything. I bashed her around the fucking house.
Did Harmony ever say anything in the response to the question, or just Adam saying, I bashed her around the fucking house?
I think just Adam.
How did Adam say this?
How did he say it?
Yes. Or let's put it this way. Can you say it the way that he said it? So that we understand.
I'm not sure. If I had to describe it to the best of my ability, it would be like a cocky son of a bitch.
Did Adam tell you why he bashed her around the house and caused the black eye?
He did.
What did he say?
He said he was in the bathroom moving his bowels, and that he put Harmony in charge to watch Declan, and when he came out, Harmony had her hands over his mouth, and I guess his lips were supposedly blue. That's what was explained.
That's what Adam explained to you?
Correct.
And after he explained that, how did he say he caused the black eye?
I bashed her around the fucking house.
Was there anybody else in the kitchen when Adam said this to you?
Just the three of us.
Just you, Adam, and Harmony.
Harmony.
Let me ask you, did you stay at your house that night?
I did.
What about the night after that?
I left the following morning.
Did you ever stay in the house after that? Overnight?
I did not.
When you heard this from Adam, who did you tell about what Adam told you and seeing the black eye? Who did you tell?
You want names?
Yes, please.
Told my mom. Told my son's mother, Christina. Told my sister, Erin. My brothers, Sean, Michael, and Richard. I told one of Adam's friends, Nick and Aaron. I told Harmony's mom, Crystal. I told Harmony's foster mom, Michelle. I think I told my sister Janine, my mother Helen. That's kind of what I remember. Could you just repeat the question again?
That's all right. I believe you answered the question.
Okay.
Let me ask, did you also make any calls to the, what's called DCYF, or the Division of Children, Youth, and Families?
I did.
And the Nicholas and the Aaron that you referred to, is that Nicholas the same person as Nicholas Ahern?
Yes.
And is that Aaron the same person as Aaron Rue?
Yes.
Why did you tell all these people? Why did you call DCYF about this?
Say that again?
Yes. Why did you tell all of these people?
To get help.
Help for who?
For Harmony.
Did you ever see Harmony after that day?
I did.
When did you see her? And by when, I mean what time of year?
What time of year?
Yes. Mr. Montgomery, did you, and let me change my questions a little bit for a minute here. Did you see Harmony again in September of 2019?
I believe so.
Okay. And let me ask, when you did see her, was it at 77 Guilford Street?
Yes.
And was that before Adam was evicted from the home?
Yes.
Did you see Harmony after they were evicted from the home?
No,
Mr. Montgomery, I'm going to go ahead and show you State's Exhibit 101. Do you recognize this person?
yes,
Okay. And who is this?
that's my nephew Adam Montgomery.
After Adam told you about causing Harmony's black eye, did you have any further conversations with him about that incident? What did he say to you in that later conversation about this black eye incident?
What did he say to me in the later conversation about the black eye?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure what you exactly mean.
I'm about to say, let me back up and I'll clarify. Attorneys need to ask very clear questions. So you've described for this jury about seeing Harmony's black eye and Adam telling you that he bashed her all around the fucking house. Did you talk with Adam about that black eye at a different time, at a later time?
I did.
And at that later time, what did he say about having bashed Harmony around the house?
Could I explain?
If we could approach for a minute, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. We just needed a minute to talk there. What I'd like to do is I'd like to ask I apologize, let me ask a very clear question about this second conversation. When you were later speaking with Adam about this black eye incident, did he apologize to you for having hit Harmony?
Just yes or no, right?
With regards to the question, yes. Did he apologize to you? Did he say he was sorry for having hit Harmony?
Yes.
He did. Going into the fall of 2019, after the eviction, and then going into 2020, did you try to get in touch with Adam, with the defendant?
Give me the time frame again.
Yes. After the eviction, so in the fall of 2019, and going into the next January, February of 2020, and then going into the summer of 2020, did you try to get a hold of Adam?
I did.
Okay. And were you able to do so?
I got a hold of somebody on Facebook.
Okay. But what about Adam?
It's hard to remember.
If I can withdraw that question, Your Honor, I'll ask a different question. With regards to that, you said you got a hold of somebody on Facebook. Were you able to go into a conversation on Facebook, or were you ever blocked on Facebook?
Summer of 2020, correct?
Yep, fall of 2019 into the summer of 2020.
Right. Pandemic happened in 2020, right?
Yes, sir.
Like March, right? So that's like my first summer in Florida. Yes, I believe I got in touch with someone on Kayla's account through Facebook Messenger that summer.
What about with one of Adam's accounts?
No, I think I was blocked.
All right, so Mr. Montgomery, I just have one other quick set of questions for you. And thank you for being patient with me today while I made sure that I was asking the correct questions of you. With regards to what you've talked about for us, one thing, and I'm sure you may be asked about this in a moment, so I'd like to save people some time now. Have you been convicted of 2 felonies out of this court within the last 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. And was one of those a conviction in 2015 for being a felon in possession of a weapon?
Yes.
And was one of those a conviction in 2016 for a theft by unauthorized taking?
Yes.
Okay. And from those, have you completed your sentence that was there, and those are all finished now at this point?
Yes.
Lastly, Mr. Montgomery, I'd like to show you State's Exhibit 97. Do you recognize this person?
I do.
And who is this?
It's Harmony.
I believe you said your recollection was that it may have been Harmony's left eye that you saw blackened.
I believe so.
I have no further questions for you, Mr. Montgomery. Thank you very much for your time. I believe defense counsel may have a few after we speak with the court.
Good afternoon, Mr. Montgomery. Are you able to hear me okay?
Right now, yes.
Great. Let me know if you can't. My name is Jamie Brooks, and I represent Adam, okay? I'll also ask you some questions, but I'll try to be fairly quick. You indicated that you returned to the Guilford Street address on the 22nd of July, 2019?
I believe I said the 22nd or the 23rd.
One or the other. Could have been the 22nd, could have been the 23rd.
Excuse me?
So it would be either the 22nd or the 23rd of July that you were there,
Correct.
and you ended up having a conversation with Adam. Correct?
Yes.
And this conversation included Adam, yourself, and Harmony in the kitchen, right?
Say that again?
The conversation took place in the kitchen.
Correct.
Harmony was there, right?
Yes.
You were there.
Yes.
Adam was there.
Correct. Yes.
Nobody else to your recollection was there.
No.
No other adult was within earshot of this conversation as far as you knew?
No.
And the conversation was prompted because you saw a black eye on Harmony.
Correct.
You indicated that Adam said that she didn't do anything.
Correct.
In response to your question of, oh my God, what happened? He said,
Oh my
Harmony didn't
God,
do
what the
anything?
fuck did you do, I think I said?
Okay. And as part of this conversation, Adam talked about finding Harmony suffocating Declan,
Hands over the mouth, I stated.
and with the hands over the mouth, Declan was turning blue.
Lips were blue,
Lips
is
were
what
blue.
I recollect.
5 months old at the time.
Declan, roughly, something like that, yeah.
You said that he made a comment and sounded cocky.
Yes.
Also could have been sarcasm,
Not in my opinion, if that's what you're asking.
but he did express concern regarding Declan and the blue lips.
Yes.
You later made a report to DCYF.
Yes.
That report was approximately a week later.
Correct.
Would July 29th of 2022, I'm sorry, July 29 of 2019, would that sound correct to you?
Roughly about a weekish later, 7, 8 days or something. Is that what? Yeah, approximate, I guess. It's going back a while.
Roughly 7 to 8 days, and this was after you had returned to Florida?
After I was back in
sorry,
New
back-
Hampshire, right? Is that what you're asking? After I came home?
Right. But
Yes.
you didn't go back to you didn't stay at the house, except for that one night. Did you go back to Florida, or did you go back to Massachusetts?
No, I went to Massachusetts.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. I don't have anything further.
Just briefly, please, Your Honor. Mr. Montgomery, about that, you were just asked a moment ago whether, I believe you were asked a moment ago with regards to Adam, you were asked a moment by Attorney Brooks about him sounding cocky and whether that might also be some sort of sarcasm. When he said, "I bashed her all around the fucking house," did that sound like sarcasm to you?
No.
And when you asked Harmony, "Oh my God, what the fuck happened to you?" were you asking about her eye?
I did. I was.
At any point, did the defendant tell you that he had just jerked her away from Declan?
No.
And at any point when you were asked a moment ago on cross-examination about Declan's lips being blue, I want to make sure that's clear. That's not something that you saw, right? That's what the defendant told you had happened.
Yes, correct. That's what I was told.
From the defendant, that's what he says.
Correct.
Let me ask one last question with regards to your understanding when Adam said that he bashed him all around the fucking house. Do you feel that you have somehow conflated what Adam had said?
Conflated? Could you explain, please?
Confused one action for another? Do you think that Adam, when
Say
he
that-
said about, yes.
State it again,
So let me
please.
restate that. With regards to confusing one issue for another, or conflated what Adam had said, with regards to that, do you feel that you may have been mistaken that when he said that he bashed her all around the fucking house with regards to the black eye, that he was actually talking about just jerking her away from Declan.
I wasn't confused.
Thank you. No further questions.